Well, good morning. Happy Thursday, holiday, whole family. Josh here, not in the youth room, but in our foyer, but we're going to be doing Throwback Thursday all the same. And today's Throwback Thursday is about a guy we talked about before. His name's George Lucas. He created a little movie franchise called Star Wars. Perhaps you've heard of it. One of the cool stories behind this is a story of how everything just comes full circle. When George was creating Star Wars, there was one problem. The ideas, the vision of what he wanted to do with respect to special effects and movie magic did not exist at the time. The quality of audio didn't exist at the time. George created his own. He created a special effects company called Industrial Light and Magic, ILM for short. He also created a sound company called THX. You know, the in the old trailers, like the audience is now deaf. Like, yeah, that was him, that's THX. But we're talking about ILM here, the special effects company that did all the cool effects for the Star Wars movies. There were some guys in ILM that saw potential in using computers, not just to generate special effects, but maybe to generate full animated movies. George is a guy who valued creativity, who valued following your passion. And these guys had a passion for computer-generated animation. Maybe we could take this and make cartoons out of it. This didn't fit ILM's vision, but George, with his blessing, said, by all means, guys, go with what you have. You have my permission. Be successful. Follow your dream. Follow your passion. Well, that's great when you have passion, but if you don't have money, what happens? They needed money. They needed a backer. And there was a guy by the name of Steve Jobs who saw the potential in this. And he invested in this fledgling company that took the name Pixar. You may have heard of them. You may have seen a couple of their movies. In the 1990s, Pixar partnered with Disney to create Toy Story. And from there, they just rolled out hit after hit. Monsters Incorporated, The Incredibles, Inside Out, so on and so forth. Eventually, Pixar was no longer partnered with Disney. Pixar was purchased by Disney. And Steve Jobs, being the primary investor of Pixar, was rewarded handsomely. As a matter of fact, the estate of the now late Steve Jobs is the largest shareholder of Disney. Not majority, but the largest. So go back to George. George owns the Star Wars franchise and many of the other things from Lucasfilm. He too sold all of his stuff to Disney. And George Lucas is now the second largest shareholder of Disney to this very day. Had this group that broke off, became their own thing, come to Disney, and this thing they broke off for them now comes back to Disney. They're all just one together, one big happy family, and how everything comes full circle. It's a pretty cool story. At least I think it was. What do we learn from this? In the moments of life when things are happening, we sometimes don't fail to see the big picture. We fail to see how something can work out. And maybe there's a reason why we don't see fully how things can work out, because we're not psychic. We can't tell the future. But we know the one who holds the future. Something to consider. And more times than not, when we don't give up, when we hold on, when we stay faithful and true, things have a way of coming around. And like it's back to the Pixar, ILM, Lucas, Disney story, have a way of coming back around full circle. If you're in a moment right now where you're uncertain about how these things are going to play out, remain faithful. Be true. Be men and women of integrity. Things have a way of, at one point or another, coming around. Doesn't mean it's perfect. Doesn't mean it played out the way we expected or hoped it to be. That's part of the Pixar formula, by the way, if you ever notice. Their protagonists always have a dream, and that dream never fully comes true to the way they expected it to. That's probably a lesson in itself, too. But consider, things have a way of coming back full circle. Remain faithful. Continue to love one another. Take care, and God bless.